Chapter 20. Now, with the half an hour left, I don't think we can complete this chapter, but I will give you the introduction to give you an outline, so you have a better understanding before we study into the 10 commandments and the laws following. Now, chapters 1 to 20 is all about trusting God. Because they trusted God to leave Egypt. Yeah, go where? Don't know. With the sea is in front of us. Don't worry, trust God. The sea open up, they cross. Eat what? Don't worry, trust God. Drink what? Trust God. Okay, so the first half of this Exodus is about trusting God. The second half of this is about obeying God, until the rest of Exodus chapter 14 is about obeying God. But for them to obey, they must obey something, right? So God is going to give them His law, His commandments, and that's where we are looking at. After the preparation, cleaning up and consecrating yourself and keeping your distance and so on, now is the presentation. Now I'm sure even if you are not a Christian, you must have watched movies, the 10 commandments. Yeah, who is the actor? He died already. Charles Heston. Heston. Wow. You go California. What's that place called? Universal Studio. They have a mock-up of the opening of the Red Sea, and so how they made the movie. Fantastic. So you will know something about the 10 commandments, and then you also know about the other laws, right? Yeah. After chapter 20, chapter 21, how you treat the servants and the maids and murder and kidnapping, and how you deal with property and all the rest, which I preached on and off here and there. So many laws. Does it apply to us? And some preachers will say the Old Testament 10 commandments not for us. We are free. We are not under the 10 commandments, so we don't study. So the question, if you go to City Harvest in the bookstore, Pastor Kong Hee has got a series of teaching on the 10 commandments, and each of the 10 he got one recording. Don't know video, audio, he got one. He said, why you want to teach all this? Why you want to teach all this? We are in the New Testament. You go to the Mount on the Sermon, chapter 5, the Gospel of Matthew. That's for us, why go to the Old Testament? Relevant or not relevant? Yeah. And then you go into all the other laws which the Pharisees make it so burdensome for the people. Is that for us or not for us? Yeah. We struggle with this is because we think that the whole thing is just one component, one law. But it is not. There are two components. There are two components. Let me share with you. With this you have a better understanding. This is the law of God. Law of Moses. Okay. Law of God and law of Moses. Two components. And when we look at this, let's before we look at this, let's turn to 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. 1 John 5:3. So to answer the first question, do we or do we not keep His commandments? Let's look at this. For this is the love of God. This was written by the Apostle John. That we keep His commandments. and His commandments are not burdensome. For whatever is born of God overcomes this world, and this is the victory that has overcome the world, our faith. Yeah, your faith will help you to overcome. But the thing I want to point to you is, we keep His commandments, and they are not burdensome. So they are still relevant to us. Okay? So let's look at the difference between the law of God and the law of Moses. As we look at the 10 commandments in chapter 20, this is the law of God. The 10 commandments, chapter 20. Okay. And then the law of Moses is from chapter 21 until chapter 23 verse 19. 21 until 23 verse 19. If you have even looked at chapter 20, you shall have no other gods before me, you shall not make yourself a calf image, and you shall not kill, you shall not take the Lord's name in vain, you shall have a Sabbath, and so on. Are they still relevant? Still. Okay, so the first thing is, it is for all people, for all time. It is for all people, for all the time. If you say it is not, then you mean what? Now New Testament we can do otherwise. No. It is for all the people, all the time.